we started to learn the duty of hearts, which means in Hebrew, Sefer Chovat HaLevavot. And we spoke about it, that it's a book that has few chapters, and the first chapter called Sha'ar HaBitachon, which called the Trust Gate. And we learned there, we started to learn about how to be able to trust Hashem. And the Rebbe used to recommend a lot to learn that chapter. It's good to learn that book, but to learn that chapter is very, very good for everyone. And especially when we feel anxiety, worried, which everyone, especially now, everyone, most of the people in the situation now feel like this, or lonely. And it's good to learn it for everyone, and especially if someone has any mental issues, it's even better. It's good, but it's good for all of us, because all of us, it gives bless to us. It can help us to bring more good to our lives. And soon we're going to learn how we bring good and abundance. Yeah? Abundance?
Abundance, yeah.
Abundance. How
abundance with a U. Which chapter is it, did you say?
Chapter 4.
Chapter. Thank you. It looks like Rivka isn't connected. Can you see? Maybe you need to connect her.
It seems like she is connected, but with no microphone. Maybe she went in without microphone.
Because there's a sign on the bottom saying, okay, never mind, as long as you've connected her. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so let's start. With Simcha, it's all fine. So we're learning the duties of heart. It's the first pasuk says, Bitachon ba'Hashem. What's it a bitachon ba'Hashem? But if, one second. We're starting the part of the beginning of the chapter. Okay, so last week we started the chapter, and now we got to the part that we say, if someone is with the book, so it's in the second part, this part we're starting. Okay, so what's bitachon ba'Hashem? Alav b'chol inyanav. So that means to trust in Hashem in all parts in our life, in all the details. And it says like this, because לפי שיש בכך במרב התועליות בענייני הדת והעולם. Rabbeinu Bechaye says that the more we trust Hashem, we'll get real benefits, gashmiut benefits, in all the parts in our life, in the religion, and in the world issues. Which means also when we want to work Hashem properly, it helps us to rely on Hashem properly, to connect Hashem properly, and also it helps us to do the right way to do mitzvot, because then we work Hashem more calm, more happy, and we learn how to do it more. 1 second. Here, I see Rivka here. Okay. So Rabbeinu Bechaye says that the benefits that we will get from it, it will help us for so many reasons that it's worth it to trust Hashem, just like this. And now he's explaining how it's going to help us with working Hashem, and how it's going to help us in the world issues. And he goes into details. That book is such amazing. It goes into so many tiny details of in each part in life, how we can trust Hashem and how it's going to help us with parnasa, with financial, with education, with children, with marriage, with friends, with all type of relationships, work, everything. Even if we have all kind of properties, someone who's rich, someone who hasn't got enough, this book is suitable for all of us. So Rabbeinu Bechaye asked, why is it so important to trust Hashem? And then he answers, because it's going to help us we're going to have benefits from this also by issues in our life and also by working Hashem. And what does that mean? Trusting Hashem, it's helping us with everything, like as I said before, and it's even help us with communicating Hashem. And he explains how. מהן מנוחת נפשו וישענו על בוראו יתעלה, כפי שחייב העבד לפתוח על רבו. So he says, what does that mean to be calm, mentally calm, relying on Hashem? Like a worker, he trusts his employee. How? Serve Hashem. So he says that most, like for example, if a worker is relying on his employee, so he can work properly. He can go to work, he can do his job, he can go back home calm, and he can continue working properly. And if a worker starts getting worried, instead of taking care of his job, is worried about things that his employee is supposed to take care of, so it can take him out of balance. That's the
employer.
The employer? Employer.
Yeah.
Thanks. Now, in working in Hashem, that means that there are situations that we manage to work Hashem properly and do mitzvot properly, and sometimes we come to a situation that we don't manage to do everything that Hashem wants us to do. Sometimes because it's, how to say, mezid and shogeg, but sometimes it's without realizing that I'm doing mistakes, the opposite of what Hashem wants. Sometimes I don't realize that I'm doing it, and sometimes I just don't have the power to do it, and then on purpose I make mistakes because it's too much, you know? Sometimes people feel like, okay, I tried to do my best today for Hashem, but my power is finished, so maybe Hashem is angry at me. So the Rabbeinu Bechayei says that the person can go into anxiety and worriness because maybe I made a mistake and Hashem is going to punish me. I'm wrong. I'm not serving Hashem properly. I feel guilty. I don't feel good with myself because I make mistakes, because we all know that no one, as we learned in the first Sikha of the Rebbe, that en tzaddik ba'aretz shelo yechta. Even the righteous person in the world makes mistakes. So if a person wants to work Hashem 100%, and he wants to serve Hashem, he wants to do mitzvahs, he wants to do everything that Hashem wants us to do, and then we have Yetzer Hara, we have mistakes, we have situations in life that makes us confused, and then we don't realizing that we're doing a mistake. Or sometimes we just don't have the patience to do things right. Sometimes we are tired and then we do wrong things. So then Rabbeinu Bechayei explains that the right relationship with Hashem is when we are calm. Menuchat nafsho, that the nefesh is calm, and only that's the right way to serve Hashem. And then he says, he gives a logic explanation that a person needs trust on whoever is taking care of him. So how come you are calm? Because you rely on Hashem and you trust Hashem that He's organizing and arranging all the issues that you need in your life. So there's one point of serving Hashem and the relationship with Hashem. The main point of working Hashem, serving Hashem, doing mitzvahs is to be calm and to rely on Hashem. So everyone knows that the most stressful thing is the human stressful thing, the most thing that can cause the person to be stressed, that everything is relied on him. If a person walks around in the world and feel like all the issues that around him are relied on him, or if you have a job that you run a business, or you run, or you're a manager somewhere, or you're a mother of children, you're in charge of your house. So if I go around and feel like everything is relied on me, as a human being, every person, will I be able to make it or not? I've got so many tasks for today. Will I be able to do them or not? I have the power, I don't have the power. I have so many things to do. Will I have the time? I won't have the time. Will it be successful? Will it not? And that makes us feel nervous and feel like everything is hard. So Hashem wants us, that's what Rabbeinu Bechaye says, Hashem wants us to be calm and to depend on him. Like as if a worker relies on his boss, on his employer. Or like someone who's relying on his rabbi, that he asked his rabbi questions and the rabbi said that's going to be. So he's relying that the rabbi, when you ask a question about halacha and you ask the Rav, what should I do? I have a question, that's a situation. What's the halacha says about that situation? I don't know how to deal with it. And then the Rav tells you, according to that situation, you should do according halacha, this or that. And when the Rav says this, so that's what you do. Why? Because you know that the Rav said something and he learned for you and he knows it, he's learning for us and he already learned that issue and he knows the answer. So, and then I go and do whatever he said to me and I know that the answer that he gave me, that's what I should do and I'm calm because I'm relying on his answer. Now let's go back to the idea of a worker who's relying on his employer. For example, every employer goes to work. He doesn't think about, will my employer will pay me? Will not pay me? Maybe his company will fall now. Maybe his company will get a bankrupt. Maybe most of the time, if there's any real problem, a worker doesn't think about it. It's not his business. He needs to make sure he does his job properly. He goes to work. He does what he's been told to do. And then he finishes the day work and he goes home. That's not supposed to be his business to worry about other issues in the business. But a worker that goes around in his work, even though his employer running everything, supervising the business, taking care of everything, he's going around stressed at work. And when you ask him, why are you so nervous? He will say, I don't trust my boss. I don't trust my employer. So someone who works in a job that he doesn't trust his employer, what kind of worker are you? Why are you working here? Why are you working there? You have no reason to work here. If you don't trust your employer, go find a job that you can rely on someone, that you can know that person, you can trust him, isn't it? So it says like, what kind of worker are you if you can't work in your job because you don't trust your employer? And you're not sure that everything he says is right, or you're not sure he's going to pay you. So you feel responsibility on all that business, even if it belongs to someone else and it's not your job to be responsible. You're not the manager. You didn't get the salary to be manager. That's the example of how to serve Hashem. And it said, Rabbeinu Bechaye says, Kal v'chomer uve'ein aroch klape HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Akadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem is our, how do you say Adonenu? Adonenu.
Our master.
Hashem is our master. Thank you. We belong to him. And our basic obligation to serve Hashem is depending on him and be calm and to trust him. So then Rabbeinu Bechai asked, why is it so important to trust your boss? Or why is it so important to trust your master? So then he explains, לפי שאם לא יבטח על השם, יבטח על זולתו. And what does that mean? That if we don't trust Hashem, we will trust someone else. Why? Because Rabbeinu Bechaya says that a person cannot, any person, any human being, anyone in the world cannot live in stress and in anxiety. He needs to calm down and rely on something that thing will make him feel saved or calm or saved from a danger or sure that you're going to get your salary, or it's all issues in life. Oh, what's going to happen with my children? I'm doing everything, and what's going to happen? They're not next to me. Or why? If someone is on the road, I hear things. What's going to happen now? There's a virus around. So what's going to happen if I go out? What's going to happen if someone? What's going to happen if I get a phone call and I need to go into bidud? What's going to happen? That's very, very that's what makes a person very, very nervous. Especially now, every time you talk to someone, after one day, they call you, we can't come. We need to go into bidud. I don't know how to say bidud in English, but so many families around us, all of a sudden go into a bidud because someone in the school or someone in work or someone or in the bus got the virus. So now everyone needs to be at home. So all the plans change. So especially now, every day plans change. Every day. Yesterday we had to meet someone and to talk to him, and all of a sudden we got a phone call that it's canceled because they need to go all the family into their house and not to go out. So that situation that we go through now can cause us so many confusions and stress and anxiety of what's going to happen. We had the first virus, everyone were at home for a few months, and then we started to go back to business again, everyone go back to work, to school, and then all of a sudden again everything is going to stop. So how it's going to end? What's going to happen? That's so stressing, those thoughts. So if we take the other situations, not the virus situation, but other situations, so a person, a human being, needs to rely on his salary. He needs to rely that he has his house or his properties. So in our life, in our duty in life, we can't go through everything in life with anxiety. But if we depend on Hashem, the same way that we depend on our salary that's supposed to go into the bank every month, and we know that we've seen it for years. Every month the salary goes in. For example, a person that works, most of the time, 90% of jobs, they pay. So you rely on it. I went to work, I got my salary, I'm calm, or I've got my pension. So the country is giving me a payment every month. So why should I be worried? So I can rely on my salary. I can rely on my friend that she's going to help me with a certain issue. I'm going to rely on my parents that they're going to help me. I'm going to rely on someone that helped me, someone that promised me that is going to help me. I can rely on a cleaner that's going to come to clean the house. I'm going to rely on the babysitter that's going to take care of my kids. I can rely on so many things. So each person needs to feel calm and rely on something, anything. But if we trust Hashem and if we know that we are all dependent on Hashem, so we can be calm for sure, because we know that He is unlimited and He can arrange everything in my life, everything that I need and everything that it's in. Even when I do something, Hashem is with me, helping me to make sure that it's going to be on the right way. That's relying on Hashem. It's not that I sit at home and look at the sky and say, Hashem, help the house to be cleaned by itself. But I can say, Hashem, help me, give me the power to clean the house, or help me find a good cleaner, or help me, that my children will help me. I'm just giving all kinds of ideas. But it's called Uberachecha Hashem Elokecha Bechol Asher Ta'aseh. We should do, and we trust, we rely on Hashem, and we trust in Hashem that He's going to help us to do it on the right way, and to send the right people with us to do whatever we need to do, the right boss, the right friend, the right person to help me to do something. We go to a doctor. He's not my master, but he's a shaliach of Hashem to help me. The doctor is איך אומרים שליח?
Emissary.
How?
Emissary?
Emissary? Like in Hebrew, we use the same word to say like he's my tzinor. He's not the person to cure
channel.
Me.
He's the channel. He's the channel.
He's the channel. The doctor is only the channel. The doctor is getting the power from Hashem to be able to take care of me properly, to choose the right medicine, to do the right decision. So I remember in situations that I had to go to doctors, and I wasn't sure if they know what to do or they have the right idea, and all the time the right way to think is to say, even though I'm not sure, Hashem is helping that doctor to get the right thought, the right idea, the right medicine, the right decision. We need to always remember, I had like few friends that they had to go to an operation, and whatever helped us to be calm and them, you should remember that Hashem will tell yourself before you go to the operation. When you go to the operation, Hashem will make sure that the doctors will do it on the right way, and Hashem will tell the doctors what to do. Don't think that you're in the doctor's hands, you're in the Hashem hands. And that changes all of the situation, because when we are in Hashem hands, we are calm. We know that even if I'm going to the doctor, Hashem is making the doctor to do his decision. And on that moment, I make the light of Hashem go into my life. Or even that doctor doesn't know what to do, but on that moment, Hashem will put the idea in his mind. Why? Because I relied on Hashem. That's amazing. It goes into so many issues in our life, in every detail. So Rabbeinu Bechaye says that if chas v'sholom, we relied on someone else, or we relied on the doctor, we relied on a friend that promised something, we relied on a boss, we rely on the salary, we rely on the properties we have. I have 10 houses, for example. I'm relying on that income. Why do I need to be worried? I've got so much money. I've got so much big salary. I've got beautiful children. They're amazing. They're behaving perfect. So why do I need to be worried? So we say, he says that when we put the responsibility on other people to help us, or to make sure that things goes right, or I rely on the teacher. He's a good teacher. He knows what he's doing with my child. So I'm relying on someone. So Hashem says, the moment you rely on someone else beside me, you're putting yourself in the wrong hands. Why? Because everyone that I can rely on can be limited, is limited. The doctor is limited. The country is limited. the salary is limited, the pension is limited, everything in the world is limited. Things can change. But if we rely on Hashem, that He will take care of me and supervise my things, or He will supervise my children, because I can't supervise them 24 hours. Even if, when I go to sleep, who supervises that they breathe? Hashem. Who supervises that their digestion will work properly? I give them the good food. Who's supervising the digestion? Who's supervising the body that they will be healthy? Hashem. I can do everything to help it, but to pray to Hashem that He's going to make sure. I know someone who takes medicines, and every time he takes the medicine, he said, Yehi ratzon sheyeh lerefuah shlema, which means there's a prayer for taking the medicine. Hashem, I rely on you, that you're going to make this medicine work properly. And even if it has side effects that I have no choice to use that medicine, and those side effects are not so comfortable, you're going to make sure that those side effects will not work on me. I'll be fine. You know why? Because I'm in your hands. I want to be connected to the infinity in the world. I want to be connected to the part that no one can stop it. And Hashem is infinite. His light is infinite. The world, the abilities of Hashem is infinite. And that's so calm. It makes us so calm when I remember this. Now, we are human beings. We have brain. Our brain has the nature of going to the negative part. That's actually the nefesh habehamit. Because Hashem is a big light. So, we saw so many miracles in life, and we heard miracle stories. So how come I'm worried? How come I'm worried? Because Hashem put a part in our brain that makes us see the negativity first. And then our job is to change every moment. And there's a school I heard from someone. Every moment that you remember this, say the Tehillim Mizmor LeTodah. I think it's Perek Kuf, if I'm not, it's Perek Kuf in the Tehillim, of thanking Hashem, even if something makes me worried. Thank you, Hashem, you're with me. Remind me. Okay, so when you say this Tehillim, you remember that Hashem is with you, and it makes you calm in the same moment. Every time you feel lonely, say this Tehillim. Or every time you feel like you forget that bitachon in Hashem, you can hear the shir, you can learn bitachon b'Hashem, you can write in the internet faith and trust and hear it again. Why? Because I need to make my brain believe that. Because I, as my soul, as a neshama, I believe that Hashem is taking care of me every moment. The neshama knows exactly how Hashem is taking care of me. We have the nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. So nefesh, ruach, neshama is part of the soul that is in the body. Chaya, yechida is makif, is around. The makif is out of the body. It's surrounding the body. And then the makif is the Hashem's light. And it knows exactly what's good for me. Hashem knows exactly what's going to help me. Then the soul sees Hashem all the time. It's connected to Hashem. But my brain, my body is built to the opposite, to see the negativity, to be worried, to believe the reality. Oh, I see the reality says that there's a problem. So how can I be calm? It doesn't make sense. It's not realistic. How can I be calm when there's so many realistic problems? How can I be calm when there's so many viruses around? Maybe it's going to touch me. Maybe something's going to happen to me. Maybe there's no limit to the frightening ideas and frightening thoughts. There's no limit to that. But the one thing that cures those negativity in our brain is to learn. The more we learn trust in Hashem, the more we learn it, the more we practice it, to write it on your on papers and hang it on your cupboard, or hang it on the fridge, on a magnet, or make it as a picture, however you want it. Print it and write yourself that Hashem is surrounding me all the time. Sometimes I try, every time I make a list for things that I need to do that for that day. Every day I write my things that I need to do, and I write on the top בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והבוטח בהשם חסד יסובבנו. And that reminds me that Hashem is going to help me to do those tasks because Hashem is unlimited and I'm a human being and the world is limited by nature. I can plan things and things can change. I can call a company or office to arrange something and they can cancel it. Things can change because the world is limited by nature. Things planned different. But when I understand that Hashem is infinite and He's arranging everything around me, He's supervising everything around me, He's taking care of me all the time, so I'm calm. I feel like I can calm. I can be calm. So, what's another question? So, what's wrong that I was relying on myself? What's the problem? So, I choose to rely on my property. I choose to rely on my abilities, on my power, on my strength. What's bad in it? A person can say, what's wrong by relying on I have a table in the house, I have chairs, I have money in the bank. Why shouldn't I rely on that money? What's the problem with that? Why shouldn't I rely on my children? My children promised me they're going to bring something home. Why shouldn't I rely on my boss? He said he's going to pay me and he paid me every month. Why shouldn't I rely on him? He's a reliable person. That's the question. What's wrong in it? So Rabbeinu Bechaye says something that sounds a little bit concerning. I hope I'm saying the right word. And
worrying.
Worrying. So Hashem the Rabbeinu Bechaye says something that can make us be worried. Whoever מי שבטח על זולת השם, מסלק השם השגחתו ממנו, ומוסרו בידי אותו שנשען עליו. What? The translation of this is, whoever relies and trusts something else besides Hashem, Hashem is taking his supervision away from him and put him in the hands of the person or the thing that we rely on. And there's an explanation for this according to Kabbalah and Chassidut. So the explanation says like this. If you decided that you are calm, you have no financial problems, you have no problems with your children, you have no problems with your marriage, you have no problems, you have properties, you have good friends, you have a nice community, everything is only good things surrounding you. Why should you be worried? Everyone is good to you, or whatever. You're in touch only with people that are good to you. So I can be calm. I have a good job, I have a good salary, I have good children, my marriage is perfect, everything is going Baruch Hashem well. Why would I be worried? Why do I need to rely on Hashem for that? I see things going fine. Why do I need to trust on Hashem? So Hashem says, if you depend on someone else in your inyanim, in your world issues, I'll put you in his hands. And the human, the world, the companies, everything is limited. Things can change, plans can change, situation can change. But the Hasidus ask a big, big question. Is it possible that Hashem take away his supervision and put me in someone else's hands and makes me depend on someone else? Does it make sense? Is there any moment that Hashem is not taking care of me? Does it make sense the way we learned the Torah, everything about Hashem? Does it make sense that one moment Hashem is not putting his light in something? Because it says that everything, it says in the Tanya book, that every detail is getting chayut, is getting the power from Hashem to be able to exist. Everything. It says in the Tanya that even the wall is by letters that holding that wall. Every part of thing we have in our life is getting light from Hashem to be able to exist, because the moment that Hashem decides that this thing will not be exist, it won't have any existence. Which means every plant, every fruit, everything in our life gets the light of Hashem to be able to exist. So how come Rabbeinu Bechaye says that whoever rely on something else, on someone else, or depends on someone else's promises, or depends on his salary, or depends on the things that he has, how come Hashem will take away his supervision from him and put him in his hands? So the answer is, Hashem is watching us, is watching over us all the time. In any place, in any situation, in any time of life, Hashem is always watching us. Sometimes the supervision is visible. I need help, and all of a sudden I got a phone call. Oh, they're already on the way to me. So good. So, for example, I miss my children, and then all of a sudden I get a phone call. Oh, he's fine. Or I want my child to have something good. Or I want to cause him to succeed in something, and I'm trying everything, and not always it's exactly the way we want. And then I say, oh, Hashem, can you help that child? I really want him to be happy and to succeed on that thing he's learning. And then all of a sudden, the same day, I got a phone call that his friends together decided to learn that part, and they're all sitting together in chavruta and learning. Wow, I didn't arrange that. I tried my ideas. I relied on my ideas, but the moment I relied on Hashem, he turned it to the right way. He's going to learn with his friends. That's the best way of a child to learn, because he has friends teaching him. That's the best. They teach him the way children understand. Just an example. Tiny examples that happens in our life. I rely on the doctor, but if I rely on Hashem, he will give him the idea. I rely on my child to honor me. And today he was tired and he decided to behave different. I relied on my children, they behave nicely, and sometimes they don't. Even though I can say my children behaving amazing, they always come home nicely and they behave nicely and they help. But sometimes things can change. But when I'm relying on Hashem, that every detail in my life, everything that I do, I rely on him, then I can see the visible supervision on us. And then we see it in the good way, in the positive supervision. Because when we rely on Hashem, it's called Hashgacha Elyona B'Shem Havaya. Shem Havaya, it's the name of Hashem that he runs the world with chesed, with mercy, with good. But there's another way that Hashem supervise the world, with hidden supervision. He behaves as if he's hiding, and we can sometimes, some situations in life, we feel like Hashem is hiding, and he's just playing with us that game that we that hiding and showing. I don't know how he said it in English, but in Hebrew there's a game that children hide from other friends, and then we need to find them. So Hashem is playing with us in Olam milashon he'elem. The world is Olam milashon he'elem. The world is kind of a thing that makes us not see the real reality, because it gives us the nature reality, but it doesn't show us how Hashem is supervising us. But the moment we remember Hashem for 1 minute, that's the moment we turn Hashem's supervision to mercy. Why? Because that light of Hashem is always surrounding us. But there's 2 ways to see that light: to ignore that light or to see it. The moment we ignore Hashem's light, so we turn the situation that Hashem's light turns to be hidden, and then we don't feel him, we don't feel his help. The more I remind myself, the more I learn about it, the more I brainwash myself, Hashem is with me. Hashem is even if I don't see him, he's hiding. He wants me to find him. He wants me to trust and depend on him and know that he's going to help me with my things. And I do things with calm. I call the bank, I'm calm. I call someone and I want to ask them a request, I'm calm, because it's not him to decide. It's not that person to decide if he's going to be able to help me or do for me whatever I need. It's on Hashem. Because even the person I talk to on the phone, he's supervised by Hashem. And Hashem will decide if that person will be able to speak to me now or not. And if he's not able to speak to me now and it's something important, Hashem made that he won't be able to talk to me. Hashem will supervise that issue. And the moment I trust on Hashem that he supervises it, I see difference. This morning, at the beginning of the morning, something went up that we need to take care of it. And I was surprised because I took care of it this week. So how come I need to take care of it again? And then I calmed down and I said, remind yourself, Hashem is supervising you and he's running the world and he's going to help you. So just be calm, start the day, and then take care of it during the day. It's fine. Put it in your tasks list and it's fine. Don't be worried. But me and my husband were surprised. How come it got wrong again? We just took care about it this week or last week. I said, don't worry, we'll manage. Bezrat Hashem, we'll arrange whatever we need to arrange. I didn't even run to take care of it. I was calm. I started the day. I took the kids to school. Everything was fine. I was preparing the shiur. I was doing my other jobs. And I knew that during the day, after I finished the urgent things, I will do this. I will take care of that issue. And in half an hour before I give the shiur, I got a phone call from someone that's offering me the thing that I need to take care of. You know, by mistake, I need this and that, so I'll need to send you this and that, and I don't know what to do with it. I thought to give it to you, something like that. And I'm like, wow. I didn't even get excited because I was like, wow, Hashem just showed me his light. It's with everything. Sometimes you pray for a child, Hashem, please make him be happy. I'm doing my best. And sometimes Hashem shows us difference. But the moment I rely on Hashem, that even though I do my best for my children, he's taking care of all the parts that not belong to me. And all of a sudden, something makes him happy, something makes him succeed, without even asking or praying for it, just relying on him, just depending on him. It's a big prayer. It's a big influence on every situation, and especially children's situation, every part in our life. So I would like to, if anyone has any question, it's a good time to ask. If you have any question, you can turn on your microphones and ask. That's the best time now. If someone has any question. Has anyone got any question? Or everything is sure and I understand? Or you can text me by chat.
You made everything so nice and clear.
Baruch Hashem. We're trying. It's every shiur, api teva, sometimes it's impossible. But Hashem, I say, okay, calm down. You prepared. Hashem will take care of the other things that really helps me to when I can learn a lot, but sometimes you're tired, or the kids, you're busy with them, and then your mind is always getting like, oh, I forgot about things, or maybe I forgot the material that I learned. But the moment I trust on Hashem, he puts the right words. So you all should know that it's not me. Hashem sending the right exactly words to say. Actually, for the siyum, for finishing the shiur, I want to read something from the Tanya book that explains exactly that part. And also this chapter is a segula to learn for curing our body and our mental, which means if we feel sad, we read that chapter in Tanya with no needing to learn it. If you have the patience and the time to learn it, it's even perfect. But maybe we should learn that chapter as well. Luckily, when my little children were tiny, I was going every week to a shir, and we learned Tanya, and we learned that chapter very, very long, like for a long term, for a few months maybe. And with all the explanations of the Rebbe and everything, it was amazing. And even though just to read it as a chapter in the Tanya, it's curing. Every moment a person feels lonely, worried. So that's a sgula. Or if someone doesn't feel well, it's also a sgula to learn it. And there's another sgula to learn the sikha that we learned at the beginning, the video number 1 and video number 2 that I sent you, is also good to learn it for every issue, everything. So just one moment, I'll go bring the Tanya book, 1 second.
Which?
That's Likutei Amarim, Perek Kaf Vav. Kaf Vav chapter, whoever wants to bring the book, or just I'll explain it. First of all, it's good to read it as a chapter. But if we learn it, it's even give so much tools, ideas, and ability to rely on Hashem.
Which page is it?
Uh,
I can't see.
64?
64.
I hope it's the right page in every book.
Well, it should be.
It's the 26th chapter, I think, isn't it? 26th chapter?
Chaf Vav.
Yes, Chaf Vav. So it's amazing how Baal HaTanya takes this chapter and explain it to real life. So because we started a little bit later, so we'll have another 10 minutes and we'll be able to learn some from this page, amazing page. פרק כ"ו בתניא, ברם כגון דת צריך להודעי כלל גדול, כי כמו שניצחון לנצח דבר גשמי, כגון שני אנשים המתאבקים זה עם זה, להפיל זה. I just want to read the words. I'll translate it. Chapter 26 says a very important rule of how to treat the Yetzer Hara. And the Baal HaTanya takes an amazing image, an amazing image, how to explain it. How to explain the war between the good Yetzer Tov and the bad Yetzer Hara. So he says like this. If we go to a, how do you say, igruf?
Boxing. It says
Boxing.
wrestling.
Yeah. Baal HaTanya takes an example.
Wrestling.
Wrestling?
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
That's what, yeah.
So
that's the
it used to be
translation.
very known. People used to go, even today, people go to watch those wrestling. And we all see, everyone that knows this, it's something that everyone watch it, and it's very pashut, very simple. It says that the moment they fight, who's supposed to, he takes two types of people. Someone that is very strong, he's been training for years, his muscles are strong, he's quick, he's smart, he's focused, he's got all the parts in his body to be able to win. And next to him, fighting him, someone who's training maybe a year, hasn't got so many experience like the other one. And he doesn't look so strong like the other one, like the strong one. So Baal HaTanya says, who's gonna win? Who's for sure gonna win? What do you say?
Well, you would think the stronger one.
Of course,
I bet he's
smart,
going to turn
he's
it over.
focused. Yeah, he's smart, he's focused. He's been practicing for years. He's been winning so many years. How come this tiny, weak person can win a strong איך אומרים, מנוסה.
Experience.
Yeah, he has so much experience. How can you win such a person like this? So, for sure he's not going to win the weak person. So the Baal HaTanya says, if the strong person is in a bad mood, even though he has experience, even though he's strong and he has a brain and smart and he's quick and he used to win everyone that he played with and for years he's winning, but he's sad, the same moment that he's sad, all his power goes down and then the weak person can win him. And then the Baal HaTanya says, כך זה בניצחון, first of all, he explains what does that mean that this strong person becomes sad. He says, if הוא בעצלות וכבדות. He says, if he's like sad, he's like being lazy and heavy, so he will get a win by in an easy way. And the weak person can win him very easily. Why? Just because he was lazy and sad and feeling heavy, even though he's stronger and smarter and has more focus and is more experienced, it's not enough because he was lazy and heavy and sad. So he says, הנה אם האחד הוא בעצלות וכבדות, ינוצח בקל ויפול גם אם הוא גיבור יותר מחברו. ככה ממש בניצחון היצר. אי אפשר לנצחו בעצלות וכבדות. That's the way we treat the Yetzer Hara. You can't win the Yetzer Hara when you are sad, lazy, tired, have no power, no cheshek, everything is... And he says, we can't win the Yetzer Hara by being lazy and heavy. That comes from the heart, and it says like, קם מעצבות וטמטום הלב, like a stone. When our heart is like a stone and we have no cheshek, no power, no happiness, no motivation. So it's hard to win the Yetzer Hara. כי אם בזריזות הנמשכת משמחה ופתיחת הלב וטהרתו מכל נדנות דאגה ועצב בעולם. So how we can win the Yetzer Hara and the negative things in the world?
Yeah, beat the Yetzer Hara.
How can we beat the Yetzer Hara? By zrizut means like
enthusiasm. Enthusiasm?
Enthusiasm. By enthusiasm, that comes from happiness and an open heart and a pure heart. From a pure heart and clean heart from all other worries and anxieties and sadness. And then the Baal HaTanya says, what's for any sadness in the world. He says that there's only one, he says, ומה שאמר בכל עצב יהיה מותר, פירוש שיהיה איזה יתרון ומעלה מזה, הנה אדרבה מלשון זה משמע שהעצב מצד עצמו אין בו מעלה, רק שיגיע ויבוא ממנו איזה יתרון והיינו השמחה האמיתית בהשם. If you want to be sad, you have one permission to be sad. Only if it's going to make you go up, that's called merirut. What's the difference between sadness to feeling like things are feeling like bitter? You can say feel bitter.
That's merirut is bitter.
Yeah. So bitterness. Yeah. If I feel like bitter, something is not right, I should change it. I don't like that situation. I'm going to change it, and now I turn it to the positive. So the Baal HaTanya says only if you have something that makes you feel bitter, and that bitterness makes us change. So that's the only permission we get to be sad. But it's amazing how the Baal HaTanya explains it at the continuation. And he says, Adrabah, if that bitterness will make you be happy and start doing things and stop being lazy and sad. So, or stop being, make us be calm as well, calm. So only if it's going to make us work Hashem properly, and it comes after a real sadness that I'm sad that I made mistake to Hashem and I made an avera by mistake. But if the same moment you start this bitterness and then you turn it to be more mitzvahs because I made a mistake, so I want to do more good things for Hashem. So that's the only situation we are allowed to be sad, but it's supposed to be very short. It's not supposed to be long. Because the Yetzer Hara holds it when we start to be sad. So he says, the moment, the merirut, if we feel sad and we break the sitra achra by that, and the wall that stands between us and Hashem, so that's the only ability to be a little bit feeling bitter, and then we beat the Yetzer Hara, and then we feel like more will to be good. So that's the only situation we are allowed to be sad for a few minutes, but not sadness, bitter. And then he says, if that caused you to break the wall between you and Hashem, so that's fine, break the wall, because you were a little bit angry. And then straight away, you'll feel happy and happiness and simcha and sason. And he says the pasuk, Hashiva li sason ishecha veruach nediva. Like Hashem, give back your happiness, איך אומרים רוח?
Spirit.
Give back your happiness spirit, your איך אומרים נדיב?
Generosity?
Generosity spirit.
Well, generous. Yeah.
Yes, and then the Baal HaTanya says that the Arizal says he writes it on Tikkun Chatzot to learn it with the happiness with happiness in Hashem after the sadness and the bitterness. So then that happiness is a real happiness because I know to appreciate the good now because I'm happy. How? For example, as if the light goes into the darkness. The moment that we have tiny darkness and all of a sudden we just turn on the light, wow, now I feel good. Or if I'm looking for something and there's dark around and I can't find the light, and all of a sudden I found the light and I turn on the light and then I see clear and then I said, oh, now I can see. Or I put the glasses on and then, oh, now I can see. Because when you don't have the glasses, you can't see and you feel like you're in the dark. You put the glasses, oh, now I can see. So that makes you happy. Oh, now I appreciate the ability to be able to see in my eyes. כי יתרון האור הבא מן החושך, כמו שנאמר בזוהר על פסוק וראיתי שיש יתרון החוכמה מן הסכלות. And he says something. That it's written, תחת אשר לא עבדת את השם אלוקיך בשמחה. There's a pasuk that says that if we don't work Hashem with simcha, so it's not the right way to work Hashem. I don't know how to explain it on the right way in English, but the positive way to explain this, it's that it's kind of a vera not to work Hashem, not to serve Hashem by happiness. So the idea of serving Hashem is by happiness. But then Baal HaTanya says, how can we be happy all the time? There's so many problems in Bane, Chaye, Mezone, Reviche. Some people, first of all, he wrote that book 200 years ago, which means there's no change from then to today. Those days there were problems on those issues, and today we have those problems on those issues. So some problem can be in children, or health issues, or parnose, or reviche. Revicha means that, okay, you have children, you have health, you have parnose, but you can't breathe, you have no moment to enjoy it. So reviche is a present from Hashem to be able to enjoy the kids, to be able to enjoy the health, to be able to enjoy the properties we have or the money we have. And he says, so how can we be happy when there's so many trouble about those issues? And then he gives the amazing answer. That answer we learned on the chapter now with the Shem Havaya and Shem Elokim. So the Baal HaTanya gives idea. So that's the consultation. It's giving us a ye'utz, etzah.
Advice.
And that's the advice to pure our heart from any sadness or worriness that happens be'alma, kacha, something that just small tiny thing happens in bane, chaye, mezone. And first of all he says, מודעת זאת לכל מאמר שכשם שמברך על הטובה, מקבל בשמחה גם מה שלא מסתדר. He says that there's some things good that Hashem show us the good and we feel it, that it's good, and there's some ways that Hashem doesn't show the good, but Hashem is good. So the moment we don't see something good and we don't know how this is supposed to turn to be good, and I'm happy and I say, Mizmor LeTodah, thank you Hashem, that you reminded me that you exist and I trust in you and I rely on you and I know that you're going to take care of us. And I'm so happy because I don't need to be worried. You're the one to take care of it. So I'm sure that the same way you did this good thing and positive thing, that negative thing, you'll take care of it. So I'm happy, I'm calm. And then I say, Mizmor LeTodah, and I say, thank you. I'm grateful Hashem for that. The same moment that I'm grateful Hashem for the negative thing, I turn the problem from Hashem, from the feeling of a supervision, hidden supervision, to visible supervision. The same moment, like we learned before. The moment, and he says, כי שם חביון הוא זו ויושב בסתר עליון. The moment that Hashem was sitting, hiding behind that place that he doesn't show us where is he, but he's hiding there. He's there all the time. The moment, I like to explain it in a different way. There's a Shem Havaya light and there's a Shem Elokim light. The visible supervision of Hashem and the hidden supervision of Hashem. The moment I know, the moment I have a hidden supervision, it's a light which surrounded by darkness. You see the darkness, but inside you have a light over there, but you can't see it. So it's make you nervous and worry and sad. But the moment we tell ourselves, in that dark, there's a light hiding in. And Hashem will show me that light. Hashem, I know you are hiding there. I know. Please show me your light. I want to see your light. That moment, we take off the hidden supervision. Hashem takes off that darkness and show me the real light of Shem Havaya, of mercy and good. And everything Hashem is running perfect. And I promise you, even sometimes I worried, and I remind myself when I'm worried, Hashem, I trust you, Hashem, I trust you, Hashem, I trust you. And I'm still worried, but I'm still practicing. I see good. Because we're not perfect. We are human beings. We were built to be negative, and we always need to turn it to positive. We're built to think negative about things. And then I need to remind myself. So in the Tanya, it says, hirhur. When you have like a thought, a negative hirhur, it's not an avera, it's just Yetzer Hara is trying me. The moment I take it away, I made a mitzvah. It's not an avera that I thought negative, because it's the first thought will jump negative. And if it jumps 20 times a day, and I take it away 20 times a day, so the Yetzer Hara says, oh, you're succeeding. No, you're not succeeding. You see how many times you thought negative today? You're not succeeding controlling that. You're supposed to be happy. Hashem said to be happy. So how come you're not happy? You see, you can't do it. And then you give up. Why? Because the Yetzer Hara proved you how many times you thought negatives today. So that's the Yetzer Hara tricks. Oh, you fail, you got up again, and then you fail again, and you got up again. You see, it doesn't work for you. You fail so many times. It doesn't work. That's the Yetzer Hara. To tell us you can't, you're not able to, things will not be the right way you want them to be. So, and that's the amazing, amazing thing that I wanted to finish that part, just to make sure that this idea of Tanya and Rabbeinu Bechaye is matching together. The Torah is always one thing. So I wish myself, I wish all of us, and I wish all Jew in the world to be able to be happy all the time and see Hashem's light, see Hashem's positive, chesed, mercy. How do you say chesed in English? Can't hear you.
Compassion.
Compassion? Compassion
Yeah,
is chesed? So to be able to see Hashem's compassion, Hashem,
kindness.
kindness, and Bezrat Hashem, to feel that kindness all the time, to be able to beat that Yetzer Hara and live in a happiness life every moment, and to remember every moment that Hashem is with me in the positive way. I don't need negative things to see that Hashem is helping. Hashem, please give us to be happy. Help us to be happy without feeling the dark before, with the sadness before. So,
Amen.
to the גאולה האמיתית שלמה בעזרת השם.
Amen. Yishakar.
Thank you all
Thank you.
for making me learn that again and again. I hope you had a nice time, and I wish you all to be able to take it in. I'll